welcome to Whilton Mill Kart Club for round 10 of the 2018 Championship. My name's Andy Allen from Double Dash Motorsport Media. What is going to be a really interesting day of racing. Last year, out at the moment are practice sessions this morning. Honda Cadet, Ionic Cadet, X30 for those, just so you are up to speed. 10 o'clock we are due to kick off the TKM Extreme Heat 4, then at 10:14 the Junior TKMs, 10:28 the Honda Cadets, 10:42 the Ionic Cadets, 10:56 the X30 Minis, 10 past 11 for the TKM Clubmans, 11:24 for the X30 Juniors, 11:38 for the joint Junior and Minimax heat, 11:52 for the final TKM heat, and 12:06 for the X30 Seniors. That is subject to change. Interesting in particular class. Remember that order of things as we go through the day. Better conditions here today at Whilton Mill. The track is greasy, but at least the sun is out. Let's look straight ahead at our first X30 Senior at the moment. Session going out. Matt Armstrong will be on pole position for this one with Dragon Pinsent alongside on the front row. Harry Torpey and Ben Hodge on row 2. Rhea Roden and Harry Little on row 3. And then it'll be Louis Short and Joe Weaver out there on row 4. Nathan Amos and Harry Platten on row 5. With Henry Ayres and Luke Whitehead forming up the 6th row of the grid. James White and Nat Thomas will be on row 7. And then Matthew Herbert, who's been going pretty well so far this weekend alongside Roy Johnson on the front, on the 8th row. Caelan Burbidge will be 17th on the grid, and then it'll be Brandon Haig in 18th on the grid. William Thomas and Ethan Ling will be on row 10. Alexander Huang and Brandon Haig on row 11, so apologies, that'll be Brandon Matchell in 18th on the grid. Nathan Herbert and Billy Albone on row 12. And then Harry Barlow and Piers Pryor on row 13. Jensen Brown, who's won a heat already this weekend, alongside Charlie Cushel on row 14. Thomas Byrne and Eduardo Kosateng on row 15. Daniel Seeger and Reese Ushijima on row 16. With Jordan Brown and Thomas Westworth on row 17. Apologies, folks. I thought it was me going mad for a minute. It wasn't. The first race, of course, out this morning is the TKM Extreme 4th heat. Just to run through who we've had as heat winners so far this weekend. Kyle Sproat won Heat 1, Joe Stockford won Heat 2, and Joe Fowler won Heat 3. Ethan Newsham and Adrian Smith will be on the front row for this 4th heat of the weekend. Matthew Harris and Peter Newman there on row 2. Matthew Taylor and James Mills will be forming up the 3rd row of the grid here today for the first race at Whilton Mill, with Owain Rosa and Theo Hesketh forming up the 4th row. Curtis Granger and Lewis Rushforth are there on row 5 for this heat. Rafael Lopez and Lewis Bevan looking out for him today to do good things there from row 6. Jodie Newman and Austin Munday will form up the 7th row of the grid. Rachel Swain and, as we mentioned before, Heat 1 winner Kyle Sproat will form up the 8th row of the grid. Bradley White and Byron Brown will form up the 9th row of the grid. And then the 10th row of the grid will be Daniel Burgess there in P19 on the grid. And I think it's Matthew Ayres in P20. Gavin Pitt and Will Lakin will form up the 11th row of the grid. Kurt Roberts and it'll be Sebastian Hutchinson there in P24. Sam Johns and Ross Deal are on the 13th row of the grid in positions 25 and 26. Charlie Bingham and Megan Lawson forming up the 14th row of the grid. James Arnold and Joe Stockford. Joe's already taken a heat so far this weekend. They're starting towards the back of the grid on this one. And then forming up the grid, it is Lucas Sullivan and Sam Bagnall. So as mentioned before, the order of events through this late morning session up to lunchtime. TKM Extreme, the first race up for you, then Junior TKM. Honda Cadet, iArmy Cadet, X30 Mini, TKM Clubman, then X30 Junior, Junior Mini Max, TKM Extreme for their final heat of the weekend before the finals here at what is not just an MSA club meeting for WMKC, but also the Britain's finest event to round off the TKM season. See the drivers down there in the pits. We were mentioning weather a few minutes ago. The sun is out here at Whilton Mill this morning, but it is quite cold still. So the track may look dry, but trust me, it's still quite greasy out there, but much better weather conditions than we had yesterday for the first day of practice and heats here for this meeting. "32 runners then in this 4th heat of the weekend for TKM Extreme. Good to have you with us here at Whilton Mill. You can get in contact with us as well in the comments underneath the stream and also on Twitter at Double Dash today. To get your comments up to the commentary box, let us know who you're supporting, whether you're at the circuit or not able to make it to the circuit today. Your support is massively appreciated. Great to see a number of the top runners from the Super 1 Championships here this weekend. E-plate holder Peter Newman here as well, Joe Stockford, Joe Fowler, Adam Sparrow, Joseph Reeves Smith, Rob Wellham, Sam Fowler, Lee Whittingham and Louis Bevan, all top 10 runners in TKM Extreme this season. Good morning to Thomas Fleming. He's here watching on the YouTube stream, so various ways of you getting in contact with us today. Good to have you here, Thomas. And just to remind folks, joining in the last couple of minutes, TKM Extreme Heat 4 to kick off things today. Ethan Newsham on pole position for this fourth heat of the weekend alongside Adrian Smith, Matthew Harris and Peter Newman on row 2. Matthew Taylor and James Mills on row 3, Owen Rosser and Theo Hesketh on row 4, Curtis Granger and Lewis Rushforth on row 5, wrapping out the top 10. 8 minutes plus 1 lap, as always for all the heats. Just looking further forward in the programme as well into the afternoon. B final, or the 1B final today for the this TKM Extreme class. That will be running, if we keep on schedule, at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Then the A finals, of course, with Junior TKM, Honda Cadet, then iArmy Cadet, X30 Mini, TKM Clubman, X30 Junior, Junior Minimax, X30 Senior and TKM Extreme A final to wrap things up. All of the timing is available across on the Alpha Timing website, so if you've got a spare screen or a spare device to hand, head across to results.alphatiming.co.uk/WMKC/2018 to get all the information you need. So the kart's heading out on track now for this fourth heat of the weekend for TKM Extreme here at Whilton Mill. And just looking back as well at the practice session that started this morning. So as we mentioned, a very different set of track conditions for the drivers here today to what they experienced yesterday. Two practice sessions run this morning for the drivers. It was Harry Moore quickest in Group 1 and Charlie Bigham quickest in Group 2. Drivers being told to go round again. Grid is not quite formed up here this time around. Few drivers just straggling towards the back there, so the rest of the grid just forming itself up. Let's go through the grid very briefly again whilst they're forming up. It's Newsham on pole position for this one with Adrian Smith alongside on the front row. Matthew Harris and Peter Newman on row 2. Matthew Taylor and James Mills on row 3. Owen Rosser and Theo Hesketh on row 4. Curtis Granger and Lewis Rushforth on row 5. Rafael Lopez and Louis Bevan on row 6. Jodie Newman and Austin Monday on row 7. Rachel Swain and Carl Sproat, a heat winner already this weekend, on row 8. Bradley White and Byron Brown on row 9. And I think we are about ready to go here at Whilton Mill for the first race of the day. It is the fourth heat of the weekend for the TKM Extremes. Number 32 Ethan Newsham on pole position, number 37 Adrian Smith alongside him on the front row. Rolling start, 8 minutes plus 1 lap then. Watch for the lights and we are go and green racing here in TKM Extreme as they all pile into the first couple of corners. Looks like a clean start so far as they streak now up to Christmas Corner for the first time. Number 11's had a good start. That's Matthew Harris already up to P2. Or as they're all trying to get to the round Christmas Corner, a couple of drivers caught out under braking there. It is still very, very greasy conditions out there. And with this being the first race of the day, I expect a little number of incidents out there whilst the drivers get used to the conditions. Move for the lead. Matthew Harris actually going for second place there, retaking second place through the left-hander onto the back straight now, heading towards the boot. And already the field's starting to get fairly spread apart. Move there by number 88, which is Theo Hesketh. Good move there by Hesketh, gaining a position. End of lap 1 then. Ethan Newsham leads. Matthew Harris second, Theo Hesketh now up to third, and that's a problem there for the number 61. And that is the end of the race for
the number 61, which of course is Jodine Newman, so not a good start to the day there for Jodine. 3 wide into Christmas corner, number 94, Charlie Bingham, running in a little bit wide there. And up the inside, I think that was the number 11 of Matthew Harris, going for Ethan Newsham there into Ashby Hairpin. We're looking at the battle further down the order. I think this is for about 10th position. Number 68 there, which is Daniel Burgess getting involved. But there it is, change for the lead confirmed then. Matthew Harris to the front of the field towards the end of lap 2, ahead of Ethan Newsham now. Hesketh and Mills not too far behind either. Start of lap 3 then. It's Harris from Newsham, Hesketh, Mills, Carl Sproat is already up to 5th place. Then it's Rosser, Taylor, Smith, Monday, Bingham wrapping out the top 10. Different lines being tried up there at Christmas corner. Some preferring the inside line, which in these conditions can work quite well for you, whilst the normal racing line is a bit more greasy, not as much grip as you might expect. Battles going on all the way down the field here in TKM Extreme. But it is Matthew Harris in the lead there. There's the O plate coming through. That's Joe Stockford. He's well, he was 14th at the end of lap 3. I think he's going to make himself up a couple more positions now. He's having another go. Battle alongside here, the number 19 going through. That's Rafael Lopez making a move there. That's going to put him up to 13th place. Not a good lap there for Austin Monday, lost 5 positions. Being overtaken by Bingham, Burgess, Lakin, Stockford and Lopez. Back with your leaders then. Matthew Harris starting to pull away now from Ethan Newsham. And there's Carl Sproat going down the inside of Newsham. Great move there by Carl Sproat, and up into 3rd position now is the driver of the number 7. Track limit warning for the leader though, needs to be careful about that. Carl Sproat, who won Heat 1 earlier this weekend. And he's also the fastest driver out on circuit at the moment, 59.67 seconds for Sproat. Definitely on form this weekend. There's Theo Hesketh now up to 2nd place. So it's Harris from Hesketh, Sproat, Newsham down to 4th, James Mills still there in 5th. Owen Ross's having a good race there in 6th place. And then it's Matthew Taylor, Charlie Bingham up to 8th place. Adrian Smith down to 9th, and Will Lakin wrapping out the top 10. We've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds plus 1 lap to go, so we're just at the midway point of this 4th heat of the weekend for TKM Extreme. Track limit warning for James Mills, and a move up the inside there by Sproat, and that's going to be 2nd position now for Carl Sproat, through and past Theo Hesketh. Now the gap is about 1.5 seconds, but at this rate I reckon Carl Sproat could be on for another win here. Oh, is there a problem there for the number 53? That's Owen Rosser, who was in 6th place. Not anymore. He's losing stacks of positions now. I don't know if he had a little drive issue coming off the left-hander of Osiers, but that was not a good moment there for Owen Rosser. Start of a new lap. Matthew Harris still leads. The gap is now 1.2 seconds to Carl Sproat there in 2nd place, who's made that move on Theo Hesketh, of course. I mean, running quite wide there out of the last corner of the boot. Number 53 there, that's Owen Rosser back on the attack, getting the kart stopped very well there as they came through Christmas. Yes, indeed, track limit warning for Austin Monday in 14th place. That was about in the right position for the driver running wide. There are blue flags out there for one of the drivers. I think it might be Lewis Rushforth. Yes, it is, the number 22. Back with the leaders, but look at how Carl Sproat is closing in on Matthew Harris now. That is much less than 1.2 seconds when they last came around. It's probably about 0.2 seconds now, if not even less. And Sproat having a little look there on the inside, hooking it on the curb. So end of lap 6. And Matthew Harris now leads by less than a tenth of a second, and he doesn't lead anymore. Carl Sproat is through. Brilliant move there by Carl, and he's up into the lead now. Now, can he start to pull away? The number 11 of Matthew Harris fights back a little bit. They're side by side coming off Christmas corner, but I think Sproat has got the move done. The driver who finished 7th in Super 1 this year. But look, Matthew Harris back up the inside, but Sproat's going to have the drive off of Ashby Corner to go round the outside and hold on to the lead. This is a brilliant battle in TKM Extreme to kick off the racing here today. Harris goes back to the inside again, and I think he's going to retake the lead. Yes, he is. Can he hold it onto the back straight? No, he can't. They're side by side again. There's been a contact warning for Sproat, but Sproat back to the lead. I think that's the lead having momentarily changed about 3 times on this last. Oh, spin in the background. I think that's Theo Hesketh off. Yes, it is. So Theo Hesketh spins out of 3rd place. That's such a shame for him. He's going to lose about 4 or 5 positions, I reckon. And yes, indeed, he's all the way down to 8th place now. In fact, make that 9th into the last minute of this race then. We'll have another lap once the clock hits 0. It's currently at 38 seconds. But it's Carl Sproat leading now by 0.6 of a second ahead of Matthew Harris. Owen Ross has fought back really well in this race, back to 3rd. Ethan Newsham still there in 4th. Yellow flags out coming through the double left-handers. Not quite sure what that is for. I think there might be a driver just on the outside of the corner there. 10 seconds to go in this one. Good move there by the number 94 of Charlie Bingham. And I think that was past Ethan Newsham and up to 4th place. Last lap board is out for the leader then, so Carl Sproat looking to take his 2nd win of the weekend so far. Leads by 1.2 seconds ahead of Matthew Harris, but the driver on the move at the moment is Owen Rosser in 3rd place. There he is in the black cart with the white suit and the blue helmet. He's just set the fastest lap of this heat so far. First driver into the 58-second lap times. Oh, as Harris runs a little bit wide there, coming off Inkermans, and that's going to give the opportunity to Rosser up the inside into Ashby, and indeed Rosser is through and into 2nd place. Last stages of this TKM Extreme heat, 4th of the weekend. Here's a battle going on between the 41 of James Mills and the number 28 there. I think that might be Curtis Granger, judging from the helmet design. But here comes Carl Sproat for his 2nd win of the weekend in TKM Extreme. He takes heat 4 ahead of Owen Rosser and Matthew Harris there in 3rd. Charlie Bingham 4th, James Mills in 5th. It was Matthew Taylor, apologies, in 6th place. Ethan Newsham in 7th. Will Lakin in 8th. Joe Stockford in 9th. And Theo Hesketh wrapping out the top 10. But it could have been so much more for Hesketh. A spin late on there at the boot, pushing him down from 3rd place. Well, an entertaining heat there from TKM Extreme. Good to see some support on the Facebook and YouTube comments. Let's have a look at some of the replays of that one, though. This was Carl Sproat coming through for 3rd position. Really good drive from Carl Sproat, his 2nd win of the weekend. Owen Rosser had to fight back as well, had problems in the middle of that heat. Came back through for 2nd place. His was the crucial move for the lead. Well, a little bit of contact there between Carl Sproat and the number 11 of Matthew Harris. And the two traded the lead back and forth across that lap. Harris going to the inside here on Ashby, but Sproat using the drive off the corner very, very well there. Harris had another go, this time up to Osiers, and took that position back away from Carl Sproat. Sproat managed to eventually overhaul Harris for the lead. There was the spin for Theo Hesketh, who was sitting in 3rd at the time. In the end, it was 10th place for Hesketh. Might be a little bit disappointed with that. And late on, here was the move by Charlie Bingham for 4th place. Owen Rosser in the black there. The black cart was pushing all the way through. Great to see him come up to 2nd place. Here was the moment for Harris, though. Runs a little bit wide coming through Inkermans, and that gave Rosser the chance up the inside to take 2nd place in that heat for TKM Extreme. We're going to take a short break on the commentary. Next up, it's race 21 of the weekend, and it's going to be Junior TKM. Here we go then for race 21. And it's Junior TKM and their third heat and final heat for this weekend. Winners so far in Junior TKM. Daniel McCowan won heat 1 and it was Joel Oswick in heat 2. Morgan Kidd and Kieran Pepper are on the front row of the grid for this one. Jensen Davis and Archie Adkins are there on row 2. Daniel Butterworth and Zach Oates, two very quick drivers there, starting this one from row 3 of the grid. And then one of those heat winners from yesterday in the wet, Daniel McCowan, Keown, and Jack Saunders on row 4. Aaron Lask and Aston Wigley will start this one from row 5 of the grid, and then row 6 finds our other heat winner so far this weekend, Charlie Flynn, alongside heat 2 winner Joel Oswick. Row 7, Theo Tibbets and Tom Johnson will look to make progress from there. And then another interesting row here on row 8, Jack Godden alongside third place in Super 1 this year, Spencer Stevenson. Let's see if we're good for a go on this one. I think we know we're not. It's going to be a false start. Drivers will go around again. That's good news for us because we can complete the rest of the grid. Where were we? Row 9. Alexander Page starts in P17. James Barty from 18th on the grid. Archie Strong and Oliver Richardson will go from row 10. So that's two drivers that were in the top 10 of the final standings in Super 1 this season. Caden Morrison and Dominic Roberts will go from row 11. Scott Smith and Oliver Fathers on row 12. Jacob Hodgkiss and Max Davies on row 13. Lewis Mackey and Ben Watson on row 14. Josh Raystrick and Oliver Dilks on row 15. Charlie Webb and Connor Kearney on row 16. And then John Daniels all on his own on row 17. It's 33 karts in this field. So the 53 of Morgan Kidd on pole position, 55 of Kieran Pepper, P2 on the grid. 8 minutes plus 1 lap once again. And we're green and racing in Junior TKM for the third heat of this Britain's finest weekend. Will they all get through the first couple of corners okay? Yes, they will. It's a very, very good start for, I think that's Jensen Davis in the 34, and the number 2 as well of Daniel Butterworth. Oh, and there's all kinds of incidents going on there at Christmas Corner. Spinner in the middle of the pack, and I think that might have been the 32 of Jack Saunders. We'll confirm that on timing as they come through into Ashby now. But look at the start from Daniel Butterworth from P5 on the grid already into the lead. There's the E-plate of Zach Oates going through as well. So Zach, who's had a very good season so far, 6th in the final standings in Super 1 this season, won the Shenington Super Prix earlier in the year as well, which is an event that if you want to go back and watch, you can on the Alpha Live YouTube channel. As will be this event at the end of the day and all the races from Whilton Mill Kart Club this season. At the end of lap 1 though, Daniel Butterworth has got into the lead ahead of Daniel McKeown. And he's already well clear of the rest of the field. 53 Morgan Kidd trying to find a way there through and into second place, but not able to do it that time. 3 wide going through the middle of the Christmas hairpin. You see the number 8 there of Oliver Richardson starting to stride through the field. Oh, a couple of drivers wide. That's the 55 of Kieran Pepper in trouble. Can he get it back on circuit? Yes, he can just about, but he's lost a lot of positions there. That's a real shame for Pepper. Back with the leaders though. Here's Zach Oates, who I think has made his way past Morgan Kidd. Yes, he has. So, and I think he's made his, no, he's not made his way past McKeown yet, but that's Zach Oates up to third place. So Butterworth leads now by 1.7 seconds ahead of the number 75 of Daniel McKeown. Zach Oates up to third. Jensen Davis now in fourth. And here is a move there. Oh, and Zach Oates has run wide as well. So this is now a battle for third place. I think it was Morgan Kidd trying to retake the position away from Jensen Davis. Jensen Davis up the inside through Ashby Corner. Are they all going to make it through? Massive slide there from Jensen Davis. He holds onto it very, very well. The number 3, I think that was involved there as well. That's going to be Spencer Stevenson. So he started to come up through the field, as is Archie Strong there in the 4. Track limit warning for the leader. What a lap there from Spencer Stevenson, and a move up the inside now by the number 10 of Alexander Page. Doesn't quite pull it off there, trying to get past Jensen Davis. Let's check them as they go through. So it's Butterworth from McKeown, Zach Oates in third, Morgan Kidd with a contact warning now fourth, Joel Oswick in fifth, Spencer Stevenson sixth, Jensen Davis down to 7th place on that lap with Alexander Page 8th, Aaron Lask 9th and Archie Strong in 10th. You see the drivers taking that inside line. I think that was another move there by Oliver Richardson in the number 8. So he's starting to come through the field now as well in this third heat for Junior TKM. Junior TKMs will be our first A final this afternoon, so do stick around for that at just before 1:15. Here comes your battle then for 4th place now, and there has been a move. Joel Oswick is through and into 4th place now. So Joel Oswick, who took the win in Heat 2 yesterday, has a track limit warning for Scott Smith, down in 20th position. Oswick having a very good weekend here so far. Oh, a little mistake there. I think that was by Morgan Kidd. That might offer the opportunity to Spencer Stevenson to make the move stick, but no, Stevenson not able to get through there. Alexander Page not too far behind as well. I can see Oliver Richardson, he is closing. Oh, and side by side there, contact between the 34 of Jensen Davis and Morgan Kidd there. Yellow flag is out at turn 1, not quite sure what that is for. Track limit warning for the number 14 of Dominic Roberts. Back to this battle then, involving Davis all over the curb there, them all running quite wide out of the last corner. This is the battle over 5th place now, with Spencer Stevenson leading it, Alexander Page in 6th. Jensen Davis going for another move there, up the inside of Morgan Kidd, and he does make it stick this time, and is up to 7th place. Number 4 there of Archie Strong, he's made his way up into the top 10. He makes his way past Morgan Kidd now as well, so that's another position for Archie Strong. I reckon that's 8th position now. Track limit warning for our 4th placed driver, which is Joel Oswick in the number 80. Can Archie Strong now make a move stick? Well, there's a yellow flag out, so he won't be allowed to. And who's that off? That is the number 16. That wasn't one of our front runners, it's Oliver Fathers, who unfortunately falls to the rear end of the order now. So it's still Butterworth leading, 2 minutes to go from McKeown. Zach Oates in 3rd, Joel Oswick in 4th, Spencer Stevenson in 5th, and here is that battle now for 4th place. Stevenson closing in on Heat 2 winner Joel Oswick. A little bit further back, there's Jensen Davis having another attack there, and he's got back past Alexander Page. Leader now trying to get past some of this traffic in the latter stages of this heat for Junior TKM. In fact, no, that's not traffic at all. That is a change for the lead. Daniel McKeown has made his way back through. Apologies, the missing number board confused me for a second there, but that is a change for the lead. Daniel McKeown, the winner from Heat 1, back through and past Daniel Butterworth. So McKeown showing yesterday was not a flash in the pan. And a new fastest lap of, I think, the day so far from McKeown, a 56.16. But is this a chance for Butterworth on the run up to Christmas corner? Oh, and on the brakes, very deep on the brakes, and Butterworth is going to make it. That was a great move from McKeown. McKeown was pushing really hard. You could see from the way the kart was reacting under braking. That was a really brave move from Butterworth and great driving from both drivers. So Butterworth back to the lead now. Both of them pushing very, very hard indeed. 35 seconds of this heat plus 1 lap to go. There is a back marker as side by side again. McKeown has a little look into the boot, but isn't able to make that one convert into a move for the lead. But he's immediately right onto the rear bumper once again of Daniel Butterworth as they go over the start-finish line. So I reckon there'll be 2 more laps because they passed the line with plenty of time to go, a good 15 seconds or so. There is a back marker. I think it's Oliver Fathers there in the number 16. Yes, it is. Butterworth cuts to the inside. Fathers does very, very well. Keeps out of the way of the leaders. Good driving there from Oliver. Butterworth defensive into Ashby Corner. This could also offer the opportunity to Zach Oates to close in. He was a good chunk of time quicker than both of these drivers on the last lap, about 8/10 or so. Spencer Stevenson has just set the fastest lap of the race so far, 55.68. Butterworth goes defensive again. McKeown trying to go around the outside. Loses a bit of time again through the initial part of the boot, but it's this first half of the circuit he's really, really strong on as they go on to the last lap here in Junior TKM. Butterworth leads from McKeown. Zach Oates has pulled in a bit more time again. I think he's just going to run out of time to catch these battling leaders, or maybe not. There is Zach Oates with the E-plate, really closing in now. Can Daniel Butterworth see this one out for his first heat win of the weekend here at Whilton Mill? You can start to see there is a bit of a dry line forming into these 2 left-handers now. Very, very tricky. It does look like McKeown is very, very quick in this section of the circuit. He could have a go into the boot. It would be his second win of the weekend so far. Butterworth goes defensive again. Can he get the run off the boot? It would be a very, very good drive here from Butterworth. If he can do it, he is going to do it round the final corner. And Daniel Butterworth will hold on for the final heat win of the weekend, ahead of Daniel McKeown, who surely will have a good grid slot for the final later this afternoon. Zach Oates in 3rd, Spencer Stevenson 4th, Joel Ostwick, your other heat winner so far this weekend, in 5th. Archie Strong and Oliver Richardson, great drives from them, up to 6th and 7th place respectively. Jensen Davis, some good battles there for Jensen. He finishes in 8th. Alexander Page in 9th, Aaron Lask in 10th, Morgan Kidd in 11th. Jack Godden in 12th, Aston Wigley in 13th. Let's have a look at some of the replays in that one then. All sorts of battles going on in the top 10. This is the one involving Morgan Kidd and Jensen Davis earlier on. Jensen Davis looking to the inside here, put some really good moves in on the run up to Christmas corner. But a lot of it was about the drivers who we've seen do very, very well in Super 1 this season. This was Archie Strong having a little look there. There was a spin this was the spin for Oliver Fathers. Jensen Davis going for the move again. He really likes this one on the run up to Christmas. That was him getting past Alexander Page. And right at the end of the race, Daniel Butterworth really had to fight hard there. McKeown took the lead away from him, but Butterworth fought back to take the heat win. Used the back marker here well to just defend the inside line and not be susceptible to a run round the outside. Dry line starting to form in this one, so we'll start to see the lap times coming down here. But it was Daniel Butterworth who took the win in Heat 3. And we'll see those drivers later on in the final at around 1:15. We're going to take a short break here on the commentary. Next up for you, it's Honda Cadet. We're ready then for our next heat. It is Honda Cadet. Theo Champney will be on pole position for this one with Oliver Greenall in second place. Morgan Hill and Antonis Sofronio on row 2. Sam Baker and Tommy Harfield will start from row 3. Oliver Still and Freddie Lloyd will be there on row 4 for this one. Then Fraser Oram and Zach Drummond wrapping out the top 10 for this grid. They start there on row 5. Ethan Simmons and Daniel Parron-Smith will be on row 6. And then it's Jack Stewart and Keen Berta, who I think has already won a heat so far this weekend. They start on row 7. Aidan Mitchell and Theo Mercuris will start on row 8. Let's just check if we are good for a start on this one. I don't think we quite are. There's still a few drivers forming into position. Standing start for Honda Cadet as well. Notable absentee, unless there's been a late entry that I'm not aware of. Daniel Gwinchard not here this weekend. Theo Mercuris, championship leader on 1,076 points. Look out for Reece Lomax in this one as well, third in the championship. Eyes on the lights then, they're red. Lights out, away we go, racing here in Honda Cadet. Good start from the pole sitter there, Theo Champney, as they head into turn 1 and then turn 2. And it is indeed a good start for Theo Champney into the lead then, defending from Oliver Greenall. Oliver Greenall cuts to the inside and goes into the lead. Following through there was the number 22 of Morgan Hill. Oh, and I think there's a bit of contact towards the back of the field. Yes, the 48 is involved, as well as the number 11 of Spencer Brougham. So a couple of drivers getting caught out there by the slippery conditions up at the top of the hill at the start of this one. As the number 32 of Riley Bishop battling with Jaden Gregg. Jaden 6th in the championship at this stage of the season with 2 rounds to go. Field going through the boot for the first time then. Counting them through as they go through, it's going to be Oliver Greenall in the lead of this one at the end of lap 1. Morgan Hill up to second place. Sofroniou in third place. You can see there with the green bumper. Oliver Stilps had a good first lap as well. As up the inside there goes the 71 of Mitchell Gibbons, who was up 9 places on the first lap for Gibbons. So that's a very, very good start from Mitchell in the number 71. Back with the leaders then. And there's been a change for second place. Antonis has made it through into second place. He's right on the rear bumper there of Oliver Greenall as they come onto the back straight. Sofroniou goes to the inside and looks like he's going to take the lead. Yes, he is. Great move there from the driver of the 77. Going past Oliver Greenall. So Sofroniou liking these greasy conditions. We're still in the high 50s in terms of lap times. And problem there for the 43. 43, that's Oliver Stilp. So Oliver Stilp has spun. I think that's at the boot. He's struggling to get going. I just think his rear left might be caught on the lip there, just on a bit of the mud at the edge of the circuit. I hope he can get going again, but it means he's going to fall all the way down to the bottom of this 33 kart field. Back with our leaders then. Sofroniou leads. And I think I just saw as well that Morgan Hill has made it through into second place. There's a move going on there for fourth as well. We'll track who that was in a moment. Yellow flags out at the boot for the stranded Oliver Stilp. There he is. You can see he is now out of the race. Number 5, Keen Berto, up the inside there. Now, I think that was him going past Daniel Parron-Smith. Let's track him through on the end of that one. So Sofroniou leads. Morgan Hill is up to second place. Oliver Greenall now third. Ethan Simmons up to 4th, Parron-Smith 5th, Keen Berta 6th, Sam Baker in 7th. Track limit warning for the number 11 as up the inside of Greenall goes Ethan Simmons. So Simmons now up to 3rd place. Good run this from Simmons so far. Theo Mercurius, I can tell you, is also coming through the field. So the championship leader now up to 9th position. Set the fastest lap of the heat so far, 57.28. Moves being done again there. I think that's Oliver Greenall losing more positions. Yes, it is. He's lost out to Parron Smith and Berta there. So Keen Berta, who, of course, very quick driver, won Heat 1. Has had 3 heat wins so far this season at Whilton Mill Kart Club. He's not been at every round, but when he has been here, he's definitely been one to watch. Back with the leaders then. Morgan Hill really starting to challenge now. Antonis Sofroniou. No move on there on the run up to Christmas Corner. Quite a pack forming behind. Classic Honda cadets. You never know what's going to happen here in Honda Cadet. Any one of these top, 8 drivers with 3.5 minutes to go. And here's the move. Morgan Hill looking up the inside into the left-hander. And I think he has got it done. Yes, he has. Ethan Simmons is in there as well. Daniel Parron Smith there in 4th as they continue to battle. Oh, bit of contact there. And Ethan Simmons is going to lose out there. Good opportunistic move from Parron Smith round the outside into 3rd place. But the 3 leaders all getting a bit bunched up, trying to share too much of the circuit there. Morgan Hill confirmed as your leader across start finish. But here is the run up to Christmas Corner now. Can Sofroniou get back through into the lead? No, he's going to hold there in 2nd place. It's now a top 5 leading ahead of the 2nd group, headed up by Oliver Greenall. And a move here now for 2nd place. I think that is, yes, Ethan Simmons through and into 2nd place. And Keen Berta's getting involved as well there in the number 5. And he's going to nick through. I think he's taken 2 of them there. Yes, he has. Oh, bit of contact between Sofroniou and Parron Smith it was in the number 18. Good news, though, for Morgan Hill. This just allows him to creep out a bit of a lead there. There is Theo Mercurius, your championship leader, with the GP plate that he won at Shannington earlier in the year. Can he take a big step towards the Whilton Mill Kart Club title in Honda Cadet this year with this run and the subsequent final, which will be at about 1:30. Up the inside there of Sofroniou. More contact between Parron Smith and Sofroniou. And that'll be Mercurius up to 4th place now. And Parron Smith, I think, was going there for 5th place as well. Track limit warning for the number 31 of Sam Baker, who is right there in the middle of your screen, currently in 7th position. He's got the 71 of Mitchell Gibbons up behind him. And look at that, up the inside. Mitchell Gibbons takes 2 positions in one corner. Oh, there's contact there between Sofroniou and Sam Baker. But what a move by Mitchell Gibbons on the left-hander, deep on the brakes. He's come from, I think, around 20th place on this grid. Watch out for Gibbons in the final. He's now up to 6th place. So Morgan Hill leads. Ethan Simmons there in 2nd place. Theo Mercurius 3rd and Keen Berta. What a quartet that we have here with 1 minute to go here in Honda Cadet Heat 3. Very, very tight amongst this top 4. There's some traffic up ahead as well. That's going to need to be careful and keep out of the way. And does so. Good driving there from the number 75, which is Harrison Morrow. He's one of our novices. Good to have novices here. So Theo Mercurius, what a season he's had. And up the inside for 2nd place now. So Mercurius is through. And I think he's going to go for the lead as well. Yes, he is. What a couple of corners there from Theo Mercurius. So the driver who won Kart Masters at PFI earlier in the year. Apologies, Angus. Yes, you're absolutely correct. And Shannington Super Prix. Is he going to add the Honda Cadet title at Whilton Mill Kart Club to his resume this year? He's got to defend now. The time is up. So there'll be this lap plus 1 more. Battle still going on for third place as well. Ethan Simmons has had a really good run on this one, trying to keep Keen Berta behind him. I think Mitchell Gibbons has just got through to 5th place as well. Saw a move there in the background on Parron Smith, so Mitchell Gibbons now up to 5th. Move being done there by Keen Berta. That is going to be Keen Berta up to 3rd place now, and Mitchell Gibbons trying to follow through. But here on the run up to Christmas Corner now, Mitchell Gibbons, look at the speed that Mitchell Gibbons has. He's trying to get up the inside of Keen Berta there. He's not going to be able to do it. Parron Smith is still involved as well. Parron Smith has got past Morgan Hill now. It's been an unfortunate... Oh, wide. Wide is Mitchell Gibbons, but he's kept it on the road. Keen Berta still ahead of Gibbons, Parron Smith and Hill. Sam Baker's still there as well in the 31. This is the last lap. Theo Mercouris is going to win the race. Up the inside goes Mitchell Gibbons. A real big attack there. Keen Berta dealt with that very, very well indeed. Round the left-hander onto the back straight. This is classic Honda Cadet racing. Keen Berta will go defensive into the boot. Will Mitchell Gibbons get the run? Oh, there's a little touch there from Gibbons, and he's on the inside. Keen Berta defends, and he's going to hold on to it. Theo Mercouris takes another win here at Whilton Mill. Ethan Simmons is 2nd. Keen Berta is across the line in 3rd place. Morgan Hill 4th. Daniel Parron Smith takes 5th. Mitchell Gibbons falls to 6th on the last corner, but that was a good race from the driver at the number 71. Sam Baker there in 7th. Oliver Greenall in 8th. Antonis Sofroniou in 9th place, and Zach Drummond wrapping out the top 10. Let's look at some of the replays then. Theo Mercouris showing his speed once again here in Honda Cadet, carving his way through the field in this one. Mitchell Gibbons as well put in some really good moves, taking 2 positions in one corner there down into Osiers. It was this battle late on. Mercouris fighting his way through that one to take the win ahead of Ethan Simmons. There he was, going past Simmons and made his way past Morgan Hill as well there in the 22, who held on for 4th place. Keen Berta got involved there towards the end as well. He'll be happy with another top 3 in a heat. Here was the move by Theo Mercouris to take the lead. That is, by my reckoning, Theo's 8th win in heat racing here at Whilton Mill this season so far. 3 final wins as well. Can he take a 4th later today? This was the battle late on. Mitchell Gibbons, who flew through the field in that one, battling with Keen Berta. Keen Berta defending hard there on the approach to the last corner, with Daniel Parron Smith doing well to go round the outside, do the cutback and take 5th place on the line. Just to run through the order as well of events, as I'm aware we've probably got a few people who've joined in the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. IARMY Cadets are up next. You've then got X30 Mini, TKM Clubman, X30 Junior, Junior and Minimax. That's 2 heats, 2 classes combined into 1 heat. TKM Extreme and X30 Senior. So on to IARMY Cadet then, their 3rd heat of the weekend. Cathal Clark and Harvey Jones are on row 1 for this one. Charlie Pritchard and Harry Junior Burgoyne on row 2. Micah Taylor and William McIntyre will start this one from row 3. Then it's Brandon Carr and Mason Bishop on row 4. Eden Spanswick and Macaulay Bishop are on row 5. Row 6 will see Theo Robertson and Lewis Werrell start from that one. Joseph Katsantonis and Sonny Smith start this 3rd heat of the weekend from P13 and P16, P13 and P14. Row 8 will be Joshua Green and Archie Clark. Row 9 will be Noah Hadley and Ella Stevens. Row 10, Ben Folland and Alfie Carford, apologies. Row 11 is Leo Purchase and George Robinson. Row 12, Cian Geraghty and Vinnie Phillips. Row 13, Alpha Baxter Davies and Alfie Slater. Row 14 is Sky Parker and Ryan Gill and Ellie Singh Baden, wrapping up the 29 runners for this heat. All ready for racing then here in Army Cadet. Think we'll be good for a start. Yes, we are. Away they go then into the first couple of corners. Oh, they all going to make it through. Good clean start there from the Army Cadets on the run up towards Christmas for the first time then. It's Pritchard who's retained the lead, but oh, there's a bit of a gap there. Micah Taylor up the inside. Did he make it through? Oh, I'm not sure if he did. They're all through the first couple of corners. Into Ashby Hairpin for the first time then. Look at this battle for the lead. Micah Taylor has made his way through, but look at the number 2 of William McIntyre coming through as well. That's a good start from McIntyre, and I think he's made it up to 3rd place already. So William McIntyre, who won Heat 2. This is his first appearance at Whilton Mill Kart Club since round 2 earlier in the year. Let's count them as they go over start finish then. Micah Taylor leads. Harry Junior Burgoyne up 2 places to 2nd place. William McIntyre up to 3rd. Battle for the lead then going through Christmas corner. Oh, and being pushed wide a little bit there was Micah Taylor. But Burgoyne has made the position, or the move for the position, stick up into the lead now. Here's William McIntyre, number 2. Can he make his way past Micah Taylor? He might have a good run here into the second of the left, this double left-hander. Yes, he is going to make it through. Very clean move there from William McIntyre. He is through and into 2nd place. Can he now chase down Harry Junior Burgoyne, who will be scored as the leader as they come around on this one? There it is. So he leads by 0.8 of a second. Burgoyne from McIntyre, Taylor, Carr, Green, Smith, Robinson, Bishop, Stevens and Clark, your top 10. Down the hill to Ashby Corner. At the moment, these 3 setting fairly similar sector times through sector 1. McIntyre, if anything, slightly quicker. Micah Taylor going with him there, trying to follow. If those 2 work together, they could pull in Harry Junior Burgoyne. In fact, they have. They've a couple of tenths of a second in the 2nd sector on this lap. So the lap, or the gap at the end of this lap, is going to come down. Yes, 0.4 of a second now between 1st and 2nd place. On the run up to Christmas corner now, you can see Brandon Carr there, the number 8 in 4th place. So it's these 4 who've broken away from the rest of the field. Sonny Smith leading the rest of them in 5th place. There you just see him in the back of your shot. A bit further down as well, just to give a mention to the novices. Quite a few novices in this heat. Alfie Slater currently the leading novice in 22nd position. On to the back straight then. Leader looking over his shoulder. William McIntyre goes for the inside. Oh, doesn't quite make it stick there into the boot corner. I think has the speed to have another go. 4 minutes and 15 seconds of this heat to go. This will be a good shot here for McIntyre. Can he get the run up to Christmas corner? Burgoyne will go defensive. No, he won't. He's going to leave a lane on the inside for McIntyre there. Through goes McIntyre. Great driving there from Micah Taylor as well. He follows through into 2nd place. Brandon Carr not too far behind as well. He's going to have a look now at Burgoyne up the inside and takes 3rd position with a very clean move into Ashby Corner. Leaders coming on to the back straight then. William McIntyre, there he is. In the lead once again. His record at Whilton Mill, at least this season. As I say, first appearance since round 2. Has had a heat win before and a second in a final. But here he is being challenged by Micah Taylor. Micah Taylor on the run now up to Christmas Corner. Just seems happy to just sit there in second place right now, which is heads up sprint racing. 3 minutes of this one to go. Is Micah Taylor just going to try and leave it as late as he can, knowing how quick William McIntyre is? Brandon Carr still there in third. Just this 3 starting to break away now from Harry Junior Burgoyne. Alfie Garford has received a track limit warning. Garford in 11th place at the moment in a battle with Alfie Baxter Davies, who's come through the field very well. And battle here now for second place, side by side, Micah Taylor and Brandon Carr through the final corner, and still side by side as they go through the first couple of corners as well. And Brandon Carr has finally made it through into second place. Burgoyne's still there as well, trying to make his way past Micah Taylor. Goes up the inside, really brave move, late on the brakes, and through goes Burgoyne back into third place. Really good move there from the driver of the number 72. But your top 2 now, the only drivers in the field who've achieved lap times in the 53-second mark so far. Carr slightly quicker than McIntyre. Battle still raging on here for third place. Can Micah Taylor get that third place back? Led earlier in this heat. Cross start finish. 1.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go then. At the moment, William McIntyre is just holding that gap at about 7/10 of a second over Brandon Carr. Harry Junior Burgoyne still there in third. Micah Taylor fourth. Sonny Smith looking quite comfortable now in 5th place. Leo Robinson 6th. Ella Stevens 7th. Joshua Green 8th. Vinnie Phillips 9th. And Alfie Baxter Davies wrapping out the top 10. In fact, there is the battle for 6th place between Leo Robinson and Ella Stevens. Just briefly caught there, the 37 and the 28. Looking now at Joshua Green in 8th place in the double 9. And Leo Robinson, who took the heat win in Heat 1, 10th place in the championship at the moment. It was his 2nd heat win of the season so far, in what is his first appearance here at Whilton Mill Kart Club since round 5 earlier in the year. It's been a good return for Leo. Back with our leaders now. William McIntyre still leading by 0.72 of a second. The 2 leaders set exactly the same lap time last time around. Burgoyne still 3rd, Taylor 4th. And this quartet are now about 2.5 to 3 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Carr slightly quicker though than McIntyre in the first sector, and he's gone quicker again in the second sector, so McIntyre's lead is going to be less than 0.7 of a second this next time around. A cross start finish, and indeed yes, Brandon Carr sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 53.64. The gap is now less than 0.4 of a second. This is now the last lap of the race, and look at the run that Brandon Carr's got here. He didn't quite get it. Oh, he just didn't quite get alongside there, McIntyre, to be able to make a move cleanly on the brakes. There is a bit of traffic in the way as well that could come into play. I think that's Harvey Jones in the number 16. McIntyre deals with that traffic very, very well, but Brandon Carr is right on his rear bumper now. Can McIntyre hold on for another win here at Whilton Mill? We are on the final lap. There's more traffic for the leaders to deal with. McIntyre will go to the inside here in the boot. Oh, gets chopped off a little bit there by the back marker. That's the number 34. And up the inside now is Brandon Carr. Brandon Carr's going to take the win here. He's going to nip through and take the win, provisionally at least, across the line. Brandon Carr takes it. Harry Junior Burgoyne 2nd, William McIntyre 3rd. And I think McIntyre might be a little bit annoyed about that one. There's not much he could have done there. Micah Taylor 4th, Sonny Smith in 5th, Leo Robinson in 6th, Ella Stevens 7th. Vinnie Phillips in 8th, Joshua Green 9th, and Alpha Baxter Davies from the back of the grid in 10th place. Alfie Slater is going to end up as the top novice in this race with a finish in the top 20. We're going to take a short break here on the commentary. In fact, no, we're not. We're just going to look at some replays first of all as we catch up with what was an intriguing I-Army cadet heat. Here was a move for the lead. 48 and 72. Micah Taylor and Harry Junior Burgoyne, who were up in the top 4 throughout that race. William McIntyre went for second place here, getting past Micah Taylor. And then had a little look for the lead, judging it very well. And then got Burgoyne on the run up to Christmas Corner. Nice block pass on the inside, which Micah Taylor took good advantage of as well, to get himself up to second place at that stage of the race. Little mistake there from Micah Taylor, offered this chance to Brandon Carr to make his way through into second place. But going really brave move this up the inside to retake third position. But this was the story at the end of the race. Just as William McIntyre started to catch up a little bit of traffic, got slowed up a little bit, Brandon Carr went for the move up the inside. With 2 corners to go, took the heat win. He's going to nip through and take... That was your I-Army Cadet Heat 3. We'll next see the I-Army Cadets in their final, which is scheduled for about 10 to 2. We're going to take a short break, and next up it's going to be X30 Mini. It's time for race 24, which is the third heat of the weekend for the X30 Minis. Edward Pearson and Harry Pears will be alongside each other on the first row for this one. Row 2 will be Luke Garlick and Bradley Beavers. Row 3 is Christian Brooks and Finley Dunn. Getting towards the middle of the pack now, Jensen Buckingham and Zach Ripley will line up on row 4 for this one. Robbie Stapleford and Jack Cox are alongside each other on row 5. Ellis Bouchier and Luke Weston are on row 6. And then row 7 is Drew Davidson and Harry Reynolds. 18 karts in this field, so getting towards the bottom of the field now for this heat. Lucas Ellingham and Aaron Walker are on row 8, and then it's Jude Fernerhuff and Jack Sherwood, on row 9. Let's have a look through the story so far this weekend. This is the first of our classes that has had double winner, I should say, so far this weekend. Aaron Walker, Heat 1 and Heat 2 winner. He's currently 4th place in the championship. He's having a very, very good weekend so far. Your leader in this class championship, Christian Brooks, at the moment, first placed on 1,027 points with 4 heat wins and 2 second places so far this season. He has been a regular attendee as well, so he's got a guaranteed 1,226 points even before the drop scores started to come into play. Notable absentees: no Louis Horsley this weekend, who's 2nd in points, or Harvey Ribby, 5th in points. Look out as well for Robbie Stapleford, 3rd in points at the moment. So here we go then for the third and final heat for X30 Mini. Number 41, Edward Pearson on pole position. Number 74, Harry Pears, 2nd place on the grid. And I think we're good for a go then. Start of the race then, X30 Minis into... Oh, spin straight away, number 78, that's Luke Garlick, who was 3rd on the grid. Spins out there. I don't know whether he was encouraged into it. Quite a bit of field spread already at the front of the field as they come down to Ashby for the first time. I think the front row has held its positions there as the rest of the field now going through Ashby. So it looks like it is Edward Pearson ahead of Harry Pears, but Luke Garlick will be a little bit disappointed that he's not been able to convert that third place on the grid into, as there's a yellow flag there. Oh, who's that off? That's the number 74. That's Harry Pears. That was one of our drivers at the front of the field, so Harry Pears has gone as well. So second and third place on the grid, both out of this one at the end of lap 1. It is Edward Pearson ahead of Zach Ripley. Christian Brooks is up to third, Jack Cox is fourth, and Robbie Stapleford now wrapping out the top 5. But not a good lap there from Harry Pears. Ellis Bourchier's also had some form of problem, and I think Fernerhoff has as well. 4 drivers off the back of the field at the end of that first lap then. Yellow flag still out, I think, for Harry Pears. There's a battle going on now between Lewis Ellingham and Jack Cox. With Robbie Stapleford involved as well. End of lap 2 then. Ed Pearson has a 2.6 second lead, but look at that, through goes the number 41 of, and that is Pearson trying to get past some of the traffic. So that wasn't for position. I think that's why Ed Pearson was a little bit annoyed there. But he's 2.67 seconds clear of Zach Ripley at the end of lap 2. Here's the battle for 4th place. Robbie Stapleford there in the orange karting overalls. Something was going on there between Jack Cox and Drew Davidson as well. That was all over 7th place. Zach Ripley now making his way through some of the traffic. Past Alice Bourchier. Move up the inside of Stapleton there. That was Lewis Ellingham going for 4th place and getting 4th place. Track limit warning for number 20, Drew Davidson, currently in 7th place. Number 15 of Aaron Walker now having a little look up the inside into Christmas. Oh, very, very close there between Ellingham and Walker. Stapleford just biding his time at the moment at the back of this one. Track limit warning for the driver in 2nd place. That's Zach Ripley. Blue flags out again for the number 77. And this battle raging on then for 5th place. In fact, no, 4th place now. Ellingham, Stapleford, Walker, Drew Davidson trying to catch up onto this group as well. And through there went Aaron Walker, making the move stick, and he's now up to 4th place. Big long run then, little tap of the head there from Aaron Walker. They're trying to get the drivers to work together at this stage of the race. They are not that far behind Christian Brooks. 0.7 of a second between 3rd and 4th place last time around. Ed Pearson, though, just holding his lead nice and steadily at the moment. They're into the 48s. The lead is 2.7 seconds now for Pearson over Ripley, who in turn is 2 seconds ahead of championship leader Christian Brooks. In fact, I think that is Christian Brooks going backwards. Yes, it is. Christian Brooks has lost a couple of positions there. I think he's lost out to Walker and Ellingham. Yes, that's confirmed on timing over start finish. So Aaron Walker up to 3rd, Lucas Ellingham now 4th, Christian Brooks down to 5th, with Robbie Stapleford not too far behind as well, currently 3rd in points. These 4 drivers putting on a great show here at Whilton Mill. Do keep your comments coming in on both the Facebook and YouTube streams. Back with the leaders though, Ed Pearson. He's still just holding that lead nicely to Zach Ripley. The card in between them we saw was Finley Dunn in the 26, who I think's had a problem as well out there in the early stages. Lead still in the upper echelons towards 3 seconds. With our battle for 3rd, Aaron Walker still at the head of it. Lucas Ellingham just having a little look there in the JDR machine. Trying to find a way through past Aaron Walker. Aaron Walker, double heat winner so far this weekend. I don't think he's going to win this one. It's more down to some of the action on the first lap. Really did split the field apart in this one. Lucas Ellingham has just set the fastest lap of the heat so far, 47.10. Aaron Walker, 47.13 though, as Finley Dunn does well to get out of the way there. So these are the two fastest drivers on circuit at the moment, Walker and Ellingham, third and fourth. They've dropped Robbie Stapleford and Christian Brooks. They're still there in the battle over fifth place now. And with, oh, a little moment there for Lucas Ellingham as he ran a little bit wide out of the first of those, that double left-hander. And up the inside there goes Ellingham. Beautiful move into the boot there, up into third place. And now can Ellingham push on? Let's see what the gap is at 46.81. That's an astonishing lap time in these conditions from Ellingham. Purple in every single sector. He's absolutely flying. The gap is 1.73 seconds now. Just don't think he's going to have enough time. We've got just over a minute plus one lap to go in this one. But you never know as the traffic starts to come into play. Another fastest Sector 1 so far. Here we're looking at Robbie Stapleford and the battle with Christian Brooks over fifth place. But Lucas Ellingham is absolutely flying here. And another purple sector, this time in Sector 2. So Lucas Ellingham looks like he's going to go even quicker on this lap. There he is. Not long in this one to go then. There is your third place driver, Lucas Ellingham, currently the fastest driver out on circuit. Still the battle raging on for fifth place. Christian Brooks is looking to pick up some more points now in the championship. They're in sixth. Ed Pearson's lead has come down slightly. It's 2.25 seconds now. Lucas Ellingham now, well, he's going to get under a second behind Zach Ripley. And sure enough, another fastest lap of the heat so far, 46.64. We are now on to the last lap. Ed Pearson looking to take his first win of the weekend. I think first heat win of the year as well here at Whilton Mill Kart Club. There is Lucas Ellingham. He's just coming up on one of the back markers. No, that's not a back marker. That is Zach Ripley for second place. So Zach Ripley's going to have to defend here through the last couple of corners, through the boot, to hold on to this second place. Ed Pearson is going to take the win. But look at Ellingham up the inside. He's gone for it and he's got it. Oh, but he's run a little bit wide there. And across the line, provisionally, it is Ed Pearson who takes the win. Lucas Ellingham second, Zach Ripley in third, Aaron Walker fourth, Christian Brooks in fifth, Robbie Stapleford in sixth, Drew Davidson in seventh, Jack Cox in eighth. It'll be Luke Weston in ninth. Harry Reynolds finishes in the top 10. In fact, no, loses that position in the top 10 to Jude Fernerhoff there on the last lap. Good recovery that from Fernerhoff. Reynolds 11th, Jensen Buckingham 12th, and Jack Sherwood in 13th. Well, incidents at the start, the number 78 of Luke Garlick spinning out there from third place on the grid. And then early on as well, Harry Pears, who started on the front row of the grid and didn't even complete a lap on that one. That left quite a gap up at the front of the field. Ed Pearson had consistently a 2-second or more lead throughout the whole of that heat. The driver of the race, or the two drivers of the race for me, were these two, Lucas Ellingham and Aaron Walker, 91 and 15. Hard racing between them in the early stages, and once Ellingham got through, this was them going past some of the other drivers at the front end of the field. That was Christian Brooks losing the position. Here was the move from Ellingham, crucial in his race as he eventually got second place, past Aaron Walker there. That was for third at the time. And then on the last corner, took Zach Ripley to take second place right at the end and showed a lot of pace here, which will serve him well in the final if he can replicate it. We'll see that final for the X30 Minis scheduled at just before 2:10, so do stick around for that. We're going to take a short break on the commentary, and then it's going to be the next of our Britain's finest classes. It's going to be TKM Clubman. It's race 25. It's the final heat of the weekend for the TKM Clubmans. John Herbert and Suxander are on the front row for this one. Will Hulaki, great to see him out here again at Whilton Mill, will be alongside Matt Cardwell on row 2. Craig Summers, very experienced round Whilton Mill, will start on row 3 alongside James Yap. Scott Hinton and Alex Jones are on row 4. Sam Baker and Ayrton Mayo are on row 5, and then it's Gareth Oldfield and Andre Cirone on row 6. Let's have a look at the details then of TKM Clubman so far for these 12 entries. Another heat that's had a double heat winner so far this weekend. Sam Baker, the number 38, who's been very quick all year. I remember watching him at other clubs as well. He's done very, very well. Can he make it 3 out of 3? He's got to come from P9 on the grid to do so. Look out for Will Hulaki as well. Last time I saw Will race, he was winning a Shennington Super Prix final. It was one of the craziest races I've seen this year. But here they are again at Whilton Mill. Great to have them back for the Britain's finest event. 12 carts ready for the off day. Number 35 on pole position. That's Herbert. Away they go. Oh, and there's a bit of chaos straight away as they come across start finish. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I think it was third place. Speared across the circuit. Craig Summers has got through it. I think it was, yes, Will Hulaki who had the problem there from P3 and took someone else with him. There is Hulaki. Well, that is, in fact, no, apologies, that's number 15 of Gareth Oldfield, who's had the problem there, noted by the novice plate. And the 77 of James Yap is off as well. So absolute chaos here in TKM Clubman on the first lap. Let's count them as they come round. It is confirmed on timing. Oldfield and Yap, the two drivers who've not come through Sector 1. It's actually Will Hulaki's in the lead, apologies. Craig Summers second. Suxander there in third place with Alex Jones fourth. Here is the battle for fourth place. Ayrton Mayo making the move there through and into fourth place. Now Sam Baker not too far behind there in the 38. There is James Yap out of the race. That's such a shame for him. Dry line definitely formed now here at Whilton Mill. Number 70, Alex Jones, trying to close in on the number 50 of Suxander. Craig Summers there in the orange and black up in second place. Very experienced driver around Whilton Mill. Not just in this class, but a fair amount of arrive and drive as well. Fairly local to the area, but Will Hulaki still leads by almost a second and a half now ahead of Craig Summers. Suxander running well in third place. He's been ever present in this class this year. Top of the points standings at the end of the year as well in TKM Clubman. There's your leader though, Will Hulaki, with the right bodywork on his kart. And pace between him and Craig Summers pretty even at this stage of the race. Ayrton Mayo currently the quickest driver out on circuit. You can see he's setting purple sector times on this one. 1.8 seconds is now the lead to Summers for Hulaki. Ayrton Mayo's just taken 0.6 of a second out of these leaders on that last lap. There he is in the white and the silver and red bodyworked car. But I did think there was a bit of damage on the rear of Mayo's kart. Yes, there is. The rear bumper's completely deranged on Mayo's car. That's going to hopefully not cause him a problem. He's now coming up behind. No, he's going to cause him a mechanical flag. I've got to be honest, I think that was that's the right call. That's a real shame for Mayo because he is the fastest driver out on circuit, but that rear bar flinging around, look at it, it's going absolutely crazy. He's going to have to come into the pits to get that repaired. He has just gone past Suxander for third place. But Ayrton Mayo has received the mechanical flag. For those of you not uninitiated, that's the black background with the orange disc on it. People call it the meatball flag, but unfortunately Mayo has been meatballed. Look, he's getting worse as well. He's got to come in and pit. I think he knows that he's seen the flag. He knows what the problem is. He's now got Sam Baker up behind him. Sam Baker, be wise to just let Mayo pit into... no, he's not pitting. Well, now, it's a little bit controversial there from Ayrton Mayo. Clear problem with the kart. He's been shown the mechanical flag by the stewards, which means he needs to come to the pits immediately, and he's not done so. There is Craig Summers there in second place in the orange and black kart. I don't think he's aware at all of what's going on behind him. Sam Baker there in fourth place now. They've dropped Suxander down into fifth place, but he's holding their good pace from the number 50 kart. And now I think Mayo has realised the game is up. He's got to pit. He's got to let these drivers through. He's just let Sam Baker go by there for third place. Oh, and I think, yes, now it's causing problems. There's a thump there on the steering wheel from Ayrton Mayo, and he will pit on this lap and retire from the race. I imagine that was caused by some of the contact that we saw on lap one, or just as they came over start-finish. That's a real shame for Ayrton Mayo. He's out of the race. Track limit warning for the leader, Will Hulaki, leading by 3.3 seconds now ahead of Craig Summers. Sam Baker is now the driver on the move. He's just set the fastest Sector 1 of the race so far, and there is the battle for second place between Summers and Baker. Blue flags out as well. I think that might be for Andre Cerrone, who's currently the top novice in this heat. Leader starts another lap, 2 minutes 20 to go. Ayrton Mayo confirmed on timing as out of this race, if you're keeping an eye on that one. Will Hulaki, got to say though, very consistent driver. If you look at his lap times, his best at the moment is a 48.15. He's just set a 48.17. Clearly in the rhythm, clearly liking the kart at the moment. 3.67 clear of Craig Summers. I'm about to say Craig Summers in second place, but he's not anymore. Sam Baker has made the move and has got through. I imagine he's done it up at Christmas, but Sam Baker is now through and into second place. Suxander still in fourth place. Matt Cardwell now promoted into the top five. Oh, who's that off? That's the number 52, and that's Scott Hinton. Scott Hinton, who was in seventh place, is off. I think that is on the run up to Christmas. Yes, it is. It's just at Fine Lady out there on driver's left. Now I wonder, has he just run a little bit wide? Because if you get on the grass there beyond the concrete runoff, there's not much you can do to save the kart and pull it back. Good to see that Scott's okay. His pride's probably hurt a little bit, but nothing more than that. Second place battle now coming up behind James Yap, who has got going again after he was involved in some of the incidents on lap one, so that's good to see for James. Sam Baker now in second place. Let's have a look at his times as he comes around on this one. It's a 48.14 for Sam Baker, 3.6 seconds behind. I don't think he's going to catch Will Hulaki unless something happens to Will Hulaki late on here. 23 seconds of this heat to go, so there'll be this lap plus one more. Sam Baker has set the fastest lap of the race, but I don't think it's going to be enough to catch Will Hulaki. Oh, problem there for the 77. Oh, that's Scott. No, that's James Yap. That's James Yap in trouble again. So James Yap has pulled off just at Inkerman's, so more problems there for James Yap. I don't know what's happened there. A loss of power. I hope he's not lost an engine. We are now on to the last lap of the race. Scott Hinton confirmed us out of this race. So 3 retirements in this TKM Clubman heat. Some of these drivers will have a lot of work to do in the break over lunchtime. 3.5 seconds the lead for Will Hulaki, who has just kept it out of trouble. He's done very, very well in this one. And he's just got to bring this one home and hope the machinery doesn't let him down. Into the last of the left-handers, of the 2 left-handers, along the back straight now and into the boot. Will Hulaki's going to take another win in TKM Clubman and give himself a good grid slot for the final as well. Here comes Will Hulaki round the final corner. He takes heat 3 in TKM Clubman here at Whilton Mill today. And it's going to be 2nd place for Sam Baker, 3rd place for Craig Summers, he'll be happy with that, 4th place for Suxander, who made it through the action there as well to take a good position. 5th place will be Matt Cardwell, 6th will be Alex Jones, and then top novice will be Andre Cerrone in the 22. Across the line, as I say, in 7th place Gareth Oldfield with 8th, and then 3 retirements in that one. Now let's have a look at this, the replays here. This was the deranged rear bumper of Ayrton Mayo, which saw him get a mechanical flag and have to retire, which is a real shame because he was the fastest driver at the point that occurred, but I reckon that damage was all caused on the first lap. Here he was coming into the pits to retire from the race. But it was Will Hulaki who took the win in TKM Clubman. He'll be very, very pleased with that. We'll see the TKM Clubmans later in the final, which is scheduled for just before 2:30, so stick around for that. We're going to take a short break on the commentary. Next up, race 26 is X30 Junior, and for anyone waiting around as well, Junior and Minimax will be after that, TKM Extreme Heat 5 after that, and then X30 Senior to finish the heats before the lunch break. Beautiful day here at Whilton Mill. It's time for our X30 Junior 3rd heat. Joshua Torpey and Douglas Bolger on the front row. Carly Atkins and Clayton Ravenscroft on row 2. Archie Garlick and Harvey Ribby will be on row 3 for this one. Then it'll be James Labby and Oliver Behrman on row 4. Charlotte Gaskin and Samuel Shaw wrap out the top 10 for this one on row 5. Then it's Daniel Amazigo and Caden McQueen on row 6. Alicia Barrett and Charlie Field are on row 7. Travis Mitchell and Axel Laflamme will start this race from row 8 of the grid. Look out for Lorenzo Cordell starting from P17 in this one on row 9 alongside Ben Jenkins. Thomas Leben and Samuel Hawthorne will wrap out the top 20 on row 10. Carl Dunford and Jensen Watts are on row 11. Vishal Patel and William Orton are on row 12. Alex Moody and Kasper Zuska on row 13. And then Alexander Johnston on row 14. 27 karts in the field for this one. And just to run through some stories of the weekend so far. 2 heats. The first one won by Thomas Leben, currently 10th in points. It's his first heat win of the year here at Whilton Kart Club. And Oliver Behrman took the win in Heat 2, which I believe is his first heat win as well so far this season. Story in terms of the championship. with 2 rounds to go. Caden McQueen leading the championship in X30 Junior here on 1,050 points, 6 heat wins. Oh, there's a spin there for Vishal Patel on the form-up laps, there in the number 95. Trying to get it going again. Caden McQueen is your leader in the championship on 1,050 points, 6 heat wins so far this year, 3 final wins as well at round 4, 6 and 8. So if you can continue that little pattern, he should be on for a good result today. Second place in the championship, Axel Laflamme, not too far behind on 1,024 points with 5 heat wins so far this year and 4 second places in the finals. And I think we're good to go here in X30 Junior. Very, very aggressive chop there from pole position across the front row to kick this one off as they head up towards Christmas. And you can see Patel's kart already there. Oh, round the outside there from the 24 of Carly Atkins. Oh, and there's a bit of incident towards the back. That's the 82, I think it is. Well, the 92 of Charlotte Gaskin with a problem on lap 1 through Christmas Corner. The rest of them coming through Ashby now. There was another driver involved as well. I think it was Samuel Hawthorne in the 51. But very good start there for Carly Atkins in the 24. Oh, spin right in the middle of the pack there. And can't quite make out who that is. They've recovered very, very well. We'll check who it was as they come through. Carly Atkins up to first. Clayton Ravenscroft already up into second place, showing why he's holding the number 1 plate at the moment. Douglas Bolger up to third. Pole sitter Joshua Torpey has held it there in 4th place. All of them filing through. Big field here in this one for X30 Junior. Who's made a good start then. Axel Laflamme has come up as expected, 9 positions on that first lap up to 8th place. Still Atkins from Ravenscroft, first and second Bolger, Torpey, Caden McQueen now up to 5th place, Axel Laflamme up to 6th, so straight away we've got a championship battle going on here for 5th place in this race. There they are, Caden McQueen in the number 42, Axel Laflamme with the O plate. Move up the inside, I think that was the 34 of Thomas Leben making a move on Travis Mitchell. Here are the 2 drivers at the front of this championship. We now cut back to the leaders. Clayton Ravenscroft trying to make his way past Carly Atkins there for the lead of the race. Lead just under a quarter of a second, little adjustment being made there by Carly Atkins. Joseph Torpey has made his way through to third, and look at this move at the inside. Axel Laflamme going past Caden McQueen there. That's for 5th position. Track limit warning for the leader, and track limits for 4th place as well. So Atkins and Bolger both with track limit warnings last time around. Axel Laflamme currently the fastest driver out on circuit at 46.10. Jensen Watts is going pretty quickly as well. He's just set purple sector times in Sector 1 and Sector 2. He's currently in 11th place, so let's keep an eye out for him. Back with the leaders. And Ravenscroft up the inside takes the lead. Beautifully done by Clayton Ravenscroft. Up into the lead past Carly Atkins with a classic move there through Christmas. Another track limit warning for, or I think that was a repeat showing of a track limit warning for Caden McQueen. Charlotte Gaskin has had one as well, so quite a few track limit warnings in this race. You don't want to accumulate too many of them, otherwise you will get a penalty. Thomas Leben is going quick as well, I can tell you. In 9th place, he's just set a 45.69, quickest of the heat so far. And Jensen Watts is going with him as well, so look out for those 2 in the latter stages of this race. See if they start to come through. McQueen and Laflamme have swapped positions again. McQueen now up to 4th place ahead of Laflamme. They've got past Douglas Bolger as well in 6th place. Closing now on Joshua Torpey. There he is, 71 in 3rd place. And up the inside goes McQueen into Ashby. He's going to get the move done, yes, and Axel Laflamme will follow him through. So these two, at the moment, looking like they're working together. The two drivers at the top of the championship in X30 Junior here at Whilton Mill Kart Club for this season. Have they got their eyes set on another win? Axel Laflamme all over the back of Caden McQueen as they come round the final corner. And Laflamme looks to the inside. Brilliant move through turn 1. Axel Laflamme back up into 3rd position. The gap is 4.78 seconds, so I wonder, are these two now thinking, well, we can't get any closer, or we can't get close enough to take 2nd place off Carly Atkins. Let's just fight for 3rd place now. As I think that was Thomas Leben making another move through as well. Jensen Watts sets another astonishing lap, a 45.25. Look out for Jensen Watts in the final if he can get a good grid slot, because coming through the field here, he's got a lot of pace in this X30 Junior class. Battle over 6th place coming round the last corner now. It's headed up by Alicia Barrett at the moment, so Alicia having a good race, also coming through the field. Back with the battle for 3rd, Laflamme and McQueen. Defending being done there, I think that was Thomas Leben defending from Jensen Watts. 2 minutes to go, still a lot of racing to be done here in this 3rd heat of the weekend for X30 Junior. Clayton Ravenscroft leads by 0.6 of a second, and up the inside there, I think that was the 68 of James Labby having a go. Track limit warning for Archie Garlick. The 34 of Thomas Leben has a look again at Alicia Barrett there in the number 30. Jensen Watts not too far behind as well. Track limit warning for the number 0 now of Axel Laflamme. So the two championship leaders both have track limit warnings now. Still battling there over 3rd place. Joshua Torpey and Alicia Barrett not too far behind in 5th and 6th. Joshua Watts now up to 7th place, past Thomas Leben. So Thomas Leben, who's had heat wins so far this weekend, is not going to get another one here. Just wants to bring this home and get a good grid slot. And up the inside goes Caden McQueen into the boot, and he retakes 3rd position away from Axel Laflamme this time. 1 minute to go, so there'll be 2 laps, I reckon. 1 minute plus 1 lap. Actually, no, it might be 3. We'll see as they come round next time around. And who's that going up the inside? I think that's Alicia Barrett. Yes, it is. Alicia Barrett in the number 30 through and past Joshua Torpey now. So Alicia Barrett having a really strong end to this race. In terms of the battle that's been raging on throughout 2018 here in X30 Junior, this is where it's at. Caden McQueen ahead of Axel Laflamme going into this weekend. The difference was 26 points. 36 points available for a heat win, 34 for 2nd, 32 for 3rd, 31 for 4th, and then a point per place all the way down. So this is over 1 point, which you never know, could be so important come the end of the season. We've hit the end of time for the race, so there'll be this lap plus 1 more. Travis Mitchell and Sam Shaw have both had issues. I can tell you they are both out of the race. So we'll see them again, hopefully, in the final. Still, can Caden McQueen hold on for this 3rd place? No! Axel Laflamme goes to the inside and takes the 3rd place back, but look, Alicia Barrett's now there in 5th place in the number 30. So this is going to be a 3-way battle for 3rd place on the last lap of the race. Clayton Ravenscroft should win this. He's 2.7 seconds clear of Carly Atkins in 2nd, but we're keeping an eye on this 3rd place battle. Laflamme will go defensive. McQueen has a look down the inside. There's no move on there. Alicia Barrett just following at the moment. Jensen Watts has made his way up to 6th place as well up the inside. And again, Axel Laflamme goes defensive. McQueen is now a 4-way battle. Look, Jensen Watts is there.
As Alicia Barrett has a look at the inside of McQueen, doesn't make the move stick. LaFlamme is having to defend here so hard. They're going to have the run into the boot. LaFlamme will stick hard left, try and get it stopped. Hit it on the apex. There is Clayton Ravenscroft. He takes another victory. Carly Atkins, but no, look, coming to third. Oh, there's contact between McQueen and LaFlamme. McQueen's going to take third on the line. Yes, he does. LaFlamme in fourth, Barrett in fifth, Jensen Watts in sixth. Great drive as well from Oliver Behrman. Another top 10 for him to go alongside his Heat 2 victory. He finishes in 7th. Thomas Leben in 8th. Joshua Torpy 9th. And Douglas Bolger in 10th. What a race in X30 Junior. Let's have a look at some of the highlights. Well, it was all about the two championship leaders. Caden McQueen leading the championship by 26 points going into this weekend, ahead of Axel Laflamme, and the two of them traded positions back and forth throughout this third heat of the weekend. Good moves down the field as well. Jensen Watts coming through. Look out for him in the final. Here was one of the moves by McQueen. He liked it down into the boot. But the two of these drivers battling allowed number 30, Alicia Barrett, to just close in right up to the end and give them something to think about. Here was Laflamme going for a move on Caden McQueen. To retake third position, and this was the point. Alicia Barrett closing right at the end, and Jensen Watts as well. So Laflamme had to defend really, really hard into the boot to stand any chance of retaining that third place. He didn't quite do it, lost out to Caden McQueen. Bit of contact between McQueen and Laflamme as well as they came across the line. What a race there in X30 Junior. We're going to take a short break and be back very, very shortly for race 27, which is the junior class and mini-max class. We're back for the Junior Max and Mini Max third heat. So this is two classes in one race. James Watson and Sam Saunders will head up the Junior Max grid. Will Jenkins and Edward Matthews will be on row 2. Drew Perry and Ben Casely on row 3. James Lowther and George Smith are on row 4. Then it'll be Tom Adams and Taylor Babs on row 5. Lewis Smith wrapping out the 11 karts in Junior Max for this one. And then, of course, we've got our 4 Mini-Max karts as well. Marcus Littlewood on pole position for this heat. Juan Mwaniki will be second place. Tommy Edmonds, and Benjamin Watts wrapping out the field for Mini-Max. So this, as I say, is two classes running in the same race. Slightly different pace on the karts as well. Sunny conditions again here at Whilton Mill. Beautiful Sunday. Hope you're enjoying your afternoon. Hello to Chris Simpson, colleague of mine. X30 consistently great racing. Can't agree more. It's a fantastic race that we saw in the X30 Juniors. We'll see them again for their final at just around 2:45 this afternoon, if you're keeping tabs on that one. So stick about for that one. And support as well from that last race coming in from Richard Taylor. Hello, Richard. Supporting Oliver Behrman. Another great drive from Oliver. He'll be a factor in that final, as we say, at 2:45. Do hope you're enjoying the stream provided by Alpha Live with commentary from Double Dash Motorsport Media as well. Do keep your comments coming in. Remember, every single club round from this season at WMKC is available on YouTube. So don't worry if you miss any of the action this afternoon. We hope you don't. We hope you stick with us. But if you do, it will be available on YouTube and, of course, on the Whilton Mill Kart Club Facebook page afterwards as well. So out go the Junior Max and Mini Max drivers for their third heat. Just to run through those two grids again, James Watson and Sam Sanders on the front row for the Junior Max grid. Will Jenkins and Edward Matthews on row 2. Drew Perry and Ben Casely on row 3. James Lowther and George Smith on row 4. Tom Adams and Taylor Babbs on row 5. And Lewis Smith on row 6. 4 drivers in Minimax, Marcus Littlewood and Juan Mwaniki on row 1, Tommy Edmonds and Benjamin Watts on row 2. Just to run through heat winners so far this weekend. 1 apiece for Tom Adams and James Lowther in Junior Max, and a double victory for Marcus Littlewood in Minimax. Here we go then for Junior and Minimax Heat 3. Clean start from the Junior Maxes. Here's the Minimax grid, as we said. That'll be on a slightly delayed stagger. There they go as well. So both classes now running and underway here. Here's a Junior Max battle. 33, Sam Sanders. Oh, is off goes the number 53. That is Ben Casely, who started 6th on the grid, so not a good start for him. Number 7 there of Drew Perry towards the back of the grid already, so I think there's been a problem already for Drew Perry, but he's starting to recover now. Clean start as well for the Mini-Maxes. Oh, wide there goes the number 33. That's Sam Sanders, who was on the front row of the grid. He's not there anymore. He's fallen down quite a few positions. The number 3, I think that's the number 30 actually. I think he's lost one of his numbers, is Will Jenkins. So Edward Matthews leads early on. James Lowther already up to 2nd place, so he's already taken a... Oh, as off there is the number 7. I think that is Drew Perry again. So problems here for Drew Perry on the end of lap 1. And he's fallen down to the bottom of the field, so that's behind the Mini-Maxes as well. So it's Matthews from Lowther, Adams, Jenkins, Babbs, Sanders your top 6, George Smith followed by Lewis Smith 7th and 8th. Those are the ones in Junior Max still running well. Marcus Littlewood leading in Mini-Max, looking good to potentially sew up that championship today. Mwaniki and Edmonds and Watts wrapping out the 4 karts in Minimax. Here are the leaders though. James Lowther now leading in Junior Max, looking for his 2nd heat win of the weekend so far. Edward Matthews in 2nd place, Tom Adams now up to 3rd place, Taylor Babbs 4th. Here's the battle between the 2 Smiths. In fact, no, apologies, that's Will Jenkins who's got ahead of Lewis Smith now. So Will Jenkins in the number 30. That'll be 7th place for Jenkins now. So James Lowther continues to lead here in Junior Max. Here's your battle for Mini-Max. In fact, no, this is the 53 of Ben Casely starting to come back through the Mini-Max field now. The number 77 of Juan Mwaniki and Tommy Edmonds being displaced there. That's not a problem for them though. They're still carrying on with their battle for 2nd place in Mini-Max, just behind Marcus Littlewood, who's a little bit further up the road in the Spirit of Senna kart. Fastest lap of the race so far. Tom Edmonds, 46.33 has just been set by Adams, but that's just been beaten by James Lowther on the next lap around. 46.11. He's continuing to pull his lead out here. It's now a 2nd for the driver of the number 1, and here comes the E-plate holder, Tom Adams, up the inside of Edward Matthews through and into 2nd place. So Lowther leading. Adams now up to 2nd place. These 2 drivers, similar to the story we saw in X30 a few moments ago. These two drivers first and second in the club championship at this stage of the season. Lowther leading on 1,110 points over 1,006 for Adams. Now that before this weekend's racing had taken 12 heat wins so far this year and 4 final wins as well. But Adams has always been there or thereabouts, challenging him through the season. 3 heat wins himself and 1 heat win apiece so far this weekend for those top 2. Marcus Littlewood continuing to pull out as well, I can let you know, in his lead in Minimax. Here we're looking at the battle over 6th place. 7th place there, Will Jenkins, just ahead of Lewis Smith. Sam Sanders coming back towards them as well there, the green and white suit. A good battle this going on over 6th place now, with just over 3 minutes of this heat plus 1 lap to go. And Sam Sanders looking under a little bit of pressure now from Will Jenkins. Will Jenkins trying to get to the inside. Sanders blocks it very, very well. Lewis Smith just watches on for now. Can't make a move stick at this stage of the race. Not a problem though, still plenty of time to go. What is happening though is George Smith is galloping down the road compared to these 3. He's now over 2 seconds clear. Ben Casely has also made his way through the Minimax field, so remember Casely had a problem on lap 1. He's now back up to 9th overall and 9th in class. Track limit warning for Tommy Admins, currently 3rd place in Minimax. That's his first of the race. Here continuing with the battle for 6th place. Sam Sanders there ahead of Will Jenkins and Lewis Smith. Sam Sanders looks like he's just picked his pace up a little bit. He had a couple of laps where he wasn't quite feeling the rhythm, but he's back on course now. The 2 leaders, I can tell you, very, very even. Both in the 46.1s, clear of the rest of the field, but still Lowther just holding on. 1.2 seconds clear of Tom Adams. In fact, make that 1.35. Good lap there from Lowther, just starting to pull away from Tom Adams now. 1.5 minutes in this one to go. It is still Lowther from Adams, Matthews, Babs, Smith, George Smith, Sam Sanders in 6th. Here's the battle that we are looking for, and the switchback there from Will Jenkins. Did he get that move done, Sam Sanders? And yes, he did. Yes, he did indeed. So Will Jenkins passed Sam Sanders there up into 6th place now. Can Lewis Smith following through? Well, he's just received a track limit warning. Oh, and they're side by side again. And that's Sam Sanders trying to fight back. He might be under attack. Oh, someone was off there. And that's the number 7 of Drew Perry. So he was already having problems in this race. So he is now out of the race, hops over the pit wall. He's absolutely fine. He's okay. That's the most important thing. But that will be yellow flags through the boot. Will Jenkins confirmed on timing. He is now in 6th place. Sam Sanders in 7th. Lewis Smith now. Can Lewis Smith follow Will Jenkins through? He's got a good run up to Christmas Corner. He's not close enough to go for a bit of a dive into the hairpin. James Lowther looks like he's got this one sewn up. He's just put in a 46.07. He's got the lead up to 1.5 seconds now over his championship rival Tom Adams. Yellow flag still out at the boot corner for the stranded Drew Perry. Leader comes round and we'll see, no, won't see the last lap board on this one. Still 10 seconds to go, so there'll be this lap plus one more. Time is now up, so next time around the leader will see the last lap board. Still this battle going on for 7th place. Sam Sanders and Lewis Smith. Smith trying to go around the outside. If he can make that go round the outside, that'd be a great move. Oh, still side by side, nearly does it. Great defending there from Sam Sanders. That was a good attempt though from Lewis Smith, trying to go the long way round the outside. It is possible, but you've got to be brave and committed to it. Both drivers dealt with that very, very well. Leader onto the final lap then. It is 1.6 seconds clear. Here's James Lowther over Tom Adams. Big battle out on circuit though. Still this battle over 7th place. Sam Sanders going a little bit defensive again on the approach to oblivion. Just holding Lewis Smith there. Ben Casely is also catching these drivers, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to overtake them. Here's your 2nd place driver, Tom Adams, with the E plate. 23 there is Tommy Edmonds. He's going to finish 3rd in Minimax. Marcus Littlewood is going to win in Minimax again. But here comes James Lowther round the final corner to win in Junior Max. It's another heat victory for James Lowther. He positions himself very, very well for the final. Tom Adams follows him home in 2nd place. It's going to be Edward Matthews in 3rd. Great drive from Taylor Babs for 4th. George Smith is 5th. 6th, Will Jenkins. And Lewis Smith does take 7th on the last lap of the race over Sam Sanders. So Sanders in 8th. Ben Casely recovers to 9th place. And then it's going to be Marcus Littlewood who takes the win in Minimax. Let's have a look at some of the replays then from that heat. It was the recovering Ben Casely who had a problem lap 1 and had to recover back through the Minimax field. Tom Adams put the move on Edward Matthews to take 2nd place in the middle of the race and then didn't look back from there. Followed James Lowther home in this one. Best battle of the race though, as for me, the one for 6th place, this Will Jenkins, Lewis Smith, Sam Sanders fight. Sanders doing some good defensive driving to keep those drivers behind for a while, but then eventually was overhauled by Will Jenkins. Not a good race for Drew Perry. 2 spins and a retirement for Perry, but we'll see the number 7 kart out again in the final. The final for these 2 classes just after 3 p.m. Good attempt this from Lewis Smith, trying to go around the outside of Sam Sanders on the approach to and through Christmas, but he did get the position. It was 7th place in the end for Lewis Smith, and we'll see them again in the final. Right, we're going to take a very short break again on the commentary. Next up is the 5th and final heat of the weekend for the TKM Extreme class. It's time for the final heat in TKM Extreme for this weekend, ahead of their 2 finals later this afternoon. Joseph Reeves-Smith is on pole position with Ross Steele alongside on the front row. Harry Moore and Will Lakin on row 2, Bradley White and Charlie Bingham on row 3, Adam Sparrow and James Arnold on row 4, Abby Pulling and Ross Darlington on row 5, Theo Hesketh and Michael Roots on row 6, Curtis Granger and Max Goldsmith on row 7, Megan Lawson and Joe Stockford on row 8. Sam Fowler and Matthew Ayres are both on row 9 for this one, followed up by Jason Bradbury and Ethan Newsham on row 10. Joe Fowler and Isaac Marsh are both on row 11. Mitchell Ball and Alexander Lemon are both on row 12. Gavin Pitt and Matthew Taylor are 25th and 26th for this final heat of the weekend for them in TKM Extreme. And then our double winner so far this weekend, Carl Sproat, starts this one from 27th on the grid alongside Zach Bowen on 28th on the grid. Row 15, Jack Ransom and Gareth Haynes will go from the back of the grid in this one. Rachel Swain and Lee Whittingham are on row 16, and then Sam Bagnall, the last of the 33 karts in this field, there at the back of the grid. Support coming in for Jason Bradbury, number 17, Hello, Louise. Thank you for tuning in. Bradbury starting right in the middle of the pack, 19th for this one. Just a recap of the heats so far. Big field in terms of entries in TKM Extreme, 56 entries, hence why they've got 5 heats instead of the normal 3. Heat 1 was won by Kyle Sproat, Heat 2 by Joe Stockford, Heat 3 Joe Fowler, and then Heat 4 at the top of our programme won by Kyle Sproat. So Kyle Sproat, of course, having 2 wins so far this weekend. Also keep an eye out for regular viewers will know who I'm talking about here, but Abby Pulling, this is one of her first times around here in a TKM Extreme class. Some of you might have noted her as an absentee in the junior TKM class earlier. Of course, she is the 2018 champion. That's because she's moved up to TKM Extreme here, so let's see how Abby Pulling gets on in this one from P9 on the grid. Ross Steele as well, watch out for Ross, we know how fast he is. He starts along on the front row alongside Joseph Reeves-Smith in this one. Big field this, lots and lots of quality. This should be a fascinating final heat of the weekend ahead of the B and A finals. So number 4, Joseph Reeves-Smith on pole position, Ross Steele alongside there in P2. We're ready for racing. And we're green and racing in TKM Extreme for the final heat of the weekend. This is the one that will decide who makes the A final and all the grid positions as well for the finals. But it's a good start for Reeves-Smith. The field heads up to Christmas Corner and they're all going to make it through. Oh, there's a couple of stragglers towards the back of the field, but pretty much... Oh, there's a contact through Inkermans and 4 or 5 karts in trouble there. And more trouble on the way down to Ashby as well. So we'll see who was that who was in trouble. I think Megan Lawson's in a bit of bother there. Isaac Marsh, Rachel Swain as well. So a couple of those drivers have not come through Sector 1, or they've come through Sector 1 slower than others. James Arnold has fallen down the order quite a way as well. So over start finish at the end of lap 1. Joseph Reeves-Smith leads. Harry Moore is up to 2nd place. Charlie Ross Steele down to 4th. Will Lakin 5th. Bradley White, Adam Sparrow, Ross Darlington, Theo Hesketh and Max Goldsmith wrapping out the top 10. Max Goldsmith, another driver as well. Definitely one of Britain's finest in this Britain's finest event here to finish off the TKM season. Great to see him back here at Wilson Mills. So that's a good start for Goldsmith, up 3 positions into the top 10. Oh, big massive moment there for the number 16. And 21's going to go through there. So that's the 16 of Lucas Sullivan losing a position to 21 Jack Ransom. Reeves-Smith continues the lead then from Bingham. Moore, Deal, Adam Sparrow up to 5th place in that last lap, and he's just set the fastest lap of the race so far, 47.68. Move up the inside being done there by the number 49. That is Abby Pulling. It's not with the number 1 plate that she normally runs in junior TKM. Of course, this is TKM Extreme. Drivers only allowed to run the special plates that they acquire in the classes in which they acquire them. But here is a driver who definitely is wearing one of those plates, the number 4, 4th place in the British Championships this year, Joseph Reeves-Smith, but he's under a lot of pressure at the moment from Charlie Bingham there in the 94. They are pulling away from Harry Moore though. There's now a 7/10 of a second gap between the 2nd and 3rd place karts. Will Bingham and Reeves-Smith just work together at this stage of the race to try and pull away from the rest of the field? Early stages of this one then. On lap 4, 3 laps down, Joseph Reeves-Smith leads. Charlie Bingham 2nd. Harry Moore still there in 3rd. But being caught a little bit on that last lap by Ross Deal. Rest of the top 10 staying fairly steady at the moment. No changes of position. Harry Moore and Ross Steele are closing. That's a great lap time from Ross Steele of 47.01. And up the inside, there goes Bingham. He's sensed the pressure from behind and he's gone, I need to get on with this, and he's gone through. He's gone for the move on Reeves Smith, and into the lead goes Charlie Bingham. It's now a 4-kart battle for the lead. You can see Harry Moore there as well in third place. Ross Steele not too far behind. So the two teammates, Reeves Smith and Moore, will try and work together here. At the moment, to me, it looks like Charlie Bingham's just got that little bit more pace. He's just pulling away. Contacts warning for the 35 of Bradley White, who is he's currently in 9th place. And up the inside, there goes Reeves Smith, retakes the lead into Christmas. Now, can Harry Moore follow him through? No, he can't. Ross Steele's trying to find his way through as well. Adam Sparrow has now joined this pack. It's a 5-way battle for the lead. Adam Sparrow set the fastest lap of the race as well, a 46.73. And up the inside again, there goes Bingham. He retakes the lead into Ozier's. Great move there in the left-hander. Got on the inside, got the move done. Very clean move from Charlie Bingham. So the record books will show no change of lead on that one, but of course we know it changed twice. Adam Sparrow has also made a move for 4th place. He's got past Ross Steele. That's a big move from Adam Sparrow. And up the inside again. Again, here comes Reeves Smith, and this time Harry Moore follows him. So 1st and 2nd now for Reeves Smith and Moore. Past Charlie Bingham. Can Adam Sparrow follow now as well? Because for me, he's been the fastest driver on circuit so far in this one. And don't count out Ross Steele as well. We know how quick Ross Steele is. Seen him race many times. Been impressed before, and so far this has been a very impressive display, not just from Ross Steele, but the top 5. Mechanical flag for Michael Roots, who was in 12th, so that's a big problem there for Michael Roots, who was on for a good finish. Not anymore. He's going to have to come to the pits for that mechanical damage. Apologies, we've not been able to see what that is. Theo Hesketh still running well there in 6th place. He's starting to close in. This is going to be a 6-way battle for the lead in the not too distant future. Sparrow goes for 3rd place through. And there goes Adam Sparrow on the inside through Ashby, past Charlie Bingham. So the Talco racer now up into 3rd place. Can he do anything about Harry Moore and Joseph Reeves Smith, who at the moment are just happy to work together? 1 minute 45 of this race to go. Hesketh has now joined the battle. So it's now a 6-way battle for the lead. Will Lakins up to 7th. Fastest lap of the race has just been put in by Abby Pulling, who's now up to 8th place. And here goes Harry Moore going for the lead up the inside. He takes the lead, and Bingham's trying to find his way back through to 3rd, and he does. He gets back into 3rd. Moore up into the lead. I think there was a bit of a battle going on between Hesketh and Deal as well. And yes, Theo Hesketh is now up to 5th place. So a lot of change here in the first half of this lap in TKM Extreme. Harry Moore, there he is in the 26, now ahead of Joseph Reeves Smith in the number 4. Charlie Bingham, former leader, now back up to 3rd place. Just over a minute to go. So there'll be this lap plus 2 more. I reckon they'll come round again with just a bit of time left on the clock to get another lap in. But here's Joseph Reeves Smith. He's got the run again. Big, massive run up to Christmas Corner and takes the lead back away from Harry Moore. Track limit warning for Ethan Newsham, currently in 15th place. What a fascinating race this is in TKM Extreme. This is just what I was expecting at the start of the day. These youngsters putting on a great show. And up into 3rd again. I think that was Adam Sparrow. Yes, it was. Driver of the number 3 is back through and past Charlie Bingham. Theo Hesketh still there in 5th. Ross Steele in 6th as well. And I think Abby Pulling has made her way up into 7th place as well. So Abby Pulling might get involved in this very late on. They just crossed the line with about 5 seconds to go. So there'll be this lap plus 1 more. Reeves Smith goes defensive on the run up to Christmas. defends from Harry Moore. Adam Sparrow still there in third. Reeve Smith goes defensive again. There's someone in the pits there. Adam Sparrow's up the inside for second place. Now can he make the move stick on Harry Moore? Yes, he can. And through goes as well the number 94, Charlie Bingham's back up to second. What a great piece of driving there from Charlie Bingham. He's taken the opportunities back up to second place. Adam Sparrow's now fallen back down to fourth. 1 lap to go. This is looking good for Joseph Reeve Smith now because he's leading, and whilst the others are fighting for second, third, fourth, fifth and everything else, he's starting to pull away. It's Reeve Smith from Bingham. Hesketh now up to third place. Sparrow fourth, Moore fifth. Deal in sixth, Pulling seventh. Lakin, White and Sproat wrap out the top 10. So Carl Sproat has fought his way up from the back of the field. 2 heat wins and a 10th. That's going to leave him in a good position for the final. But look at this. This is brilliant racing. Abby Pulling now getting involved with Ross Deal, the number 35 of Bradley White, trying to go all the way around the outside. That's outrageous from Bradley White. And I think he's taken at least 2 of them. We're on the last lap. Joseph Reeve Smith is going to take the victory, and what a victory it is. Round the final corner, there is the checkered flag, and there's a win for Joseph Reeve Smith. Charlie Bingham was a big factor in that. He takes second place. Theo Hesketh really heads up driving from Hesketh. He takes third. Adam Sparrow was the quickest driver out there, or one of the quickest drivers out there. He takes fourth. Harry Moore fifth, Ross Steele sixth, Bradley White in seventh, Abby Pulling in eighth, ninth Will Lakin and Carl Sproat in 10th. Well, let's have a look at some of the highlights of that fascinating final heat for TKM Extreme. This was your battle for the lead early on. Charlie Bingham going to the inside of Joseph Reeve Smith on the run up to Christmas, getting the move done through Christmas. A really nice piece of overtaking, but then it had a bit of a reverse. Joseph Reeve Smith back into the lead. Harry Moore trying to follow through there, but not quite able to make it stick. This was a great move up the inside in the left-hander. Charlie Bingham, clean as you like, retook the lead. And then, of course, it changed back again. Reeve Smith this time being followed by Harry Moore. So that was first and second at the time for Reeve Smith and Moore. Adam Sparrow then got involved, got up to third place. Harry Moore then hit the front with another move up into Christmas. Charlie Bingham fought back. It was very impressive for Bingham to fight back against these drivers. Reeve Smith retook the lead again. I've already lost count of how many lead changes we've had in this one. This was a key move. Up the inside, Sparrow went for it, lost a bit of time. That allowed Bingham and Hesketh back through for second and third. And it finished Joseph Reeve Smith with a win, Charlie Bingham second and Theo Hesketh third. Right, we're going to take a very, very short break here on the commentary and be back for our final heat of the morning, which is X30 Senior. It's our final heat of the weekend, our X30 Senior Heat, race 29. And let's have a quick look through your grid then. Matt Armstrong on pole position with Dragon Pinsent on the front row alongside him. Harry Torpy and Ben Hodge on row 2, then Ria Roden and Harry Little on row 3. Louis Short and Joe Weaver on row 4, Nathan Amos and Harry Platten on row 5. Row 6 looks a little bit like this. Henry Ayres and Luke Whitehead on that one. Then it's James White and Nat Thomas on row 7. Matthew Herbert and Roy Johnson are on row 8. Caelan Burbage and Brandon Matchell on row 9. William Thomas and Ethan Ling wrapping out the top 20 runners for the grid at least. Alexander Huang and Brandon Haig will be on row 11. Nathan Herbert and Billy Albone will start on row 12. Interesting row on row 13. Harry Barlow lines up alongside Club Championship leader Piers Pryor, 25th and 26th positions. Jensen Brown and Charlie Koshall will be on row 14. Row 15 will be Thomas Byrne and Eduardo Cosateng. Row 16, Daniel Seeger and Reese Ushijima. And row 17, 34 karts in X30 Senior, Jordan Brown and Thomas Westworth wrapping out the grid. Let's have a quick chat about heat victors so far this weekend. 2 heats so far. Jensen Brown won the first of them and Harry Platten won the second of them. The interesting one in terms of championship, Piers Pryor leads on 1,002 points, Matt Armstrong second on 964. Looks like we are good to go then for the final heat of the weekend. And away we go for X30 Senior Heat 3. 34 karts piling into turn 1 and turn 2. Will we get 34 karts on the way out? Yes, we will. Good start from the X30 Seniors. Looks like they're all making their way through Christmas Corner as well, unscathed. Good start for Matt Armstrong. He's got a clear lead already, and the battle for second place. Here's Harry Torpey in the 72. Oh, drivers off towards the back end of the field. I think I just caught sight there of possibly the 53 of Daniel Seeger was in a bit of trouble there. Battle for second place now. Louis Short has come up to the front of this one. Great start there for Louis Short. Problem there for the number 44 of Rio Roden. So he was quite high up the grid. So that's not a good heat for him. Matt Armstrong leads. Louis Short second. Harry Torpey third. Joe Weaver fourth. Ben Hodge in fifth. Harry Platten wrapping out the top 6. This is just what Matt Armstrong wanted. Second in the championship at the moment. And he's taken 2 heat wins so far this season and 2 second places in finals. Never present here at Whilton Mill. There's the 76 fighting through. That's Ethan Ling. I think he's just put a move on Brandon Matchell. And there's Piers Pryor in the very recognisable pink helmet with the blue and white detailing on the kart as well. So Piers Pryor, I think that means he's up to 10th place. So yes, Piers Pryor up into the top 10. So he looks to move towards the title. There goes through number 40. That's for third place. Joe Weaver, good move there on Harry Torpey. So Joe Weaver now up to third place. He's got to try and close in Louis Short now. Oh, but look at this. Harry Torpey fights back on the run to Ashby. He's going to try and jerk to the inside. Can he take the position? Oh, wow, that's a very good move from Harry Torpey, and I think it's almost stunned Joe Weaver there into going a little bit wide. So Harry Torpey fighting back there. There goes the 36 of Nathan Amos through past Joe Weaver as well. So Joe Weaver, unfortunately, is going to lose 4 or 5 positions on this lap. Armstrong leads still from Short. Torpey back to third. Whitehead fourth. Harry Platten now fifth. Ben Hodge down to 6th. Nathan Amos 7th and Joe Weaver 8th. Weaver's starting to fight back now. He gets back past Nathan Amos there for 7th place. Piers Pryor trying to find his way past Ethan Ling and does so. So Pryor now up to 9th place. Can he get past Nathan Amos there in the red and white kart for 8th? 5 minutes to go in this final heat of the weekend. And there will be the lunch break after this for about half an hour. And just to run you through the finals order, we'll have our TKM Extreme B final first, as up the inside there for third place, Luke Whitehead goes through and into third place past Harry Torpey. Just to go back through those finals, B final first for TKM Extreme at 1 o'clock. There's more problems for the number 40 of Joe Weaver, starting to lose positions again. Then from 1:15 we'll have the A finals for each of the groups. And the classes, Junior TKM followed by Honda Cadet, iArmy Cadet, X30 Mini, TKM Clubman, X30 Junior, Junior Max and Mini Max, X30 Senior, and then our TKM Extreme final. Back to this race though, 4 minutes to go. Here's the battle for 4th place. This is Harry Torpey trying to defend from Harry Platten. Heat 2 winner. On for another good result here. There goes Platten up the inside into Ashby Corner. Can he get the move done? Of course he can. Great move by Harry Platten, and he's now up to 4th place. Ben Hodge, who's just had a track limit warning, not too far behind there in 6th place. Or was that a little mistake there from Torpy? Going to have to be defensive into the boot. Ben Hodge looking for that inside line. Piers Pryor not too far behind there as well in 7th place. Still Matt Armstrong leading though. In fact, no, he's not leading anymore. Just as we say that, Lewis Short pips through at Christmas corner. Must have got a very good run up the hill. In fact, he did. He was half a second quicker in the first sector. Lewis Short hits the front of the field then with a very clean overtake through Christmas corner. And Matt Armstrong is now second. The good news, though, is they are well clear at the moment of the rest of the field. 2 seconds last time around. That was Luke Whitehead a little bit wide out of the last corner. Harry Platten still there in 4th. Torpy 5th. Hodge in 6th. There's been a move for 9th place. Billy Albone, I can tell you, is up to 9th place now, past Nathan Amos. And I think Ethan Ling has also followed. Close racing here through the field. There's the 36 losing a position to Reese Ushijima. Good run this for Ushijima. He's come from the back of the grid. And I reckon that is now 12th place. The driver of the number 12 absolutely flying. 2 minutes plus 1 lap of this race to go. Lewis Short is starting to pull out the lead here. Half a second over Matt Armstrong last time around. Here's the move being done, 71 and 72. Ben Hodge trying to make his way through, and he does. So Ben Hodge now up to 5th place, ahead of Harry Torpy. Piers Pryor not too far behind, and also look out for Matthew Herbert there in the 39. Track limit warning comes in for the number 15 of Jensen Brown, who won the first heat, 4th in points at the moment going into this weekend. His best result in a final so far this year being a 3rd place. As through there goes the number 42 of Harry Platten. So Harry Platten is now up to 3rd place. He's just displaced Luke Whitehead there. And a very quick run through oblivion. At the moment, his pace is not bad compared to Armstrong and Short. Can pick up a few more tenths. He might just be able to close them in on the last lap of this race. He's the championship leader, Piers Pryor, in the pink helmet. Track limit warning for Harry Barlow, the number 79. That'll be this lap plus 1 more then. Short ahead of Armstrong. Platten now up to 3rd. Whitehead 4th. Hodge 5th. Piers Pryor has made it through to 6th place. Jensen Brown still going quickly. Down the bottom of the field, 44.49. Rest of the field fighting through there. That's the 81 losing a position to Jensen Brown. So Jordan Brown loses position to Jensen Brown. Oh, more defensive driving. It's all getting a bit tight here in the middle. This is all over about 14th position. And look at that, the number 17 of Eduardo Cosateng trying to go round the outside. I think he has gone round the outside. Really good move that from Eduardo. And he takes a few positions there. We are now on the last lap of the race. Lewis Short leads from Matt Armstrong. Harry Platten in 3rd. Luke Whitehead 4th. Still this battle going on. Let's count these through as they come through. It's Brendan Haig in 13th. And Thomas Byrne, Nathan Amos, Eduardo Cosateng, Jensen Brown, William Thomas and Jordan Brown all involved here over about 13th place. The number 17 of Cosateng is forced wide there and is going to lose positions to the 2 Browns and William Thomas. Number 15 trying to go around the outside as well. That is Jensen Brown. But here across start finish, Lewis Short takes the win. Matt Armstrong 2nd, Harry Platten in 3rd. Luke Whitehead is 4th. 5th will be Ben Hodge. But look at this battle. It's still headed up by the number 20 of Brendan Haig. He's done brilliantly to hold on. For the last couple of laps, he does take the position. So it's Hodge from Pryor, Matthew Herbert 7th, Harry Torpy in 8th, 9th for Reese Ushijima, 10th for Ethan Ling, 11th Billy Albone, 12th Joe Weaver and 13th Brandon Haig. Let's look at some of the highlights then from that final heat of the morning. Here is Harry Platten making some good moves on his way to third place. Change for the lead, Louis Short going past Matt Armstrong. Just the point at which I was about to say Matt Armstrong. It's in a comfortable lead. Through here was the number 42 again, Harry Platten pulling through more positions from the outskirts of the top 10 to third place. Reese Ushijima, very impressive drive through the field. He started towards the pack, in the end finished in 9th place. Ben Hodge will be happy with 5th. This was his move on Harry Torpy. He was involved in a lot of the action through that race. Harry Platten with another brave manoeuvre, taking third place there. This battle, this was all over about 13th place, with everybody getting involved. Jensen Brown in the middle of it, Thomas Byrne and Nathan Amos as well, and they fought hammer and tongue all the way to the checkered flag. It's Brandon Haig who took that position and that 13th place. Important, of course, every single position worth at least 1 point. We'll see how that all shakes up for the championship positions and also the final grids for later this afternoon. Well, that brings to an end the racing for the heats and the morning session. We're now going to go into a lunch break. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hope you've enjoyed the racing. I definitely have. My name's been Andrew Mather from Double Dash Motorsport Media, and we will be back with you just before 1 o'clock for the afternoon session.